Moin moin ihr Lümmel und herzlich willkommen zurück zu Stanley. Ich glaube, dem Guten ist schon langweilig geworden und deswegen müssen wir ihn ein bisschen beschäftigen. Solltet ihr diesen Kanal noch nicht abonniert haben, würde ich mich sehr darüber freuen und natürlich auch über einen kostenlosen, dicken, fetten Daumen. Dankeschön. Das war's. Tschüss. Nein, jetzt geht's los. Und zwar gehen wir direkt rein. Ich glaube... Oh Gott, ich weiß gar nicht mehr, wo ich aufgehört oder welchen Weg ich das letzte Mal gewählt. Doch, ich hatte das schnelle Ende, ne? Ich glaube, ich hatte das schnelle Ende. Wir sind einfach durchgelaufen, sind in der Mine Factory gelandet und... Ich glaube, ich habe sie ausgeschaltet. Ich habe den Off-Knopf gedrückt, ja. Und diesmal wollte ich die Treppen runtergehen und nicht hoch zum Boss. Genau, so machen wir das. Genau so machen wir das. Und ich bin gespannt, was da noch kommen wird. So, jetzt darfst du den Laden aber auch ein bisschen beschleunigen hier. Danke, hallo. Danke.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Kennen wir? Skip. Der gute Rechner, an dem nichts geht. Aber an dem er die letzten 65.000 Jahre gearbeitet hat. Hä, sag mal, war letztes Mal diese Lampe da auch schon an? Kommt immer mehr spooky vor. Okay. Wir gehen einfach mal wieder durch, weil hier am Anfang geht einfach nichts. Bis zum Konferenzraum. Genau. Konferenzraum. Linke Tür nehme ich wieder. Mhm. Hallo, ich bin da. Leider ein bisschen spät. Warte, ich bin festgehangen. Kann er da? Okay. Immer noch keiner.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Da ist immer noch nichts Neues. Und jetzt kommt mir der Schlauch neu vor. Ich glaube, ich beachte die einfach gar nicht. Genau. Habe ich gemacht letzte Mal. Die beiden vorletzten Male. Mache ich diesmal nicht. Ich gehe runter. Parkhaus? Oder was gibt's hier? Keller? Ich glaube, ich will die Maus mal etwas erhöhen. Was war das? Deaktiviert Maus umkehren? Achso, okay. Ja, das ist better. Jetzt muss ich mich daran wieder gewöhnen.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange, this can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up.
This is crazy.
How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Aber von seiner Frau hat er auch nichts in seinem Büro. Oh, wir sind doch wieder hier.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
Okay.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Okay. So, ich hab mal eben den Sound umgestellt hier. Mir fiel eben noch auf, dass der Sound über den Monitor kam. Das war wahrscheinlich ein bisschen hallend, ne? Jetzt habe ich mal umgeschaltet und wir sind wieder hier. War das jetzt Ende Nummer 2?
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself.
Jetzt sagt er was anderes.
This is what I wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
Aha. The end is never the end. Never the end is never the end. Okay.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Ist ja gar nicht. Alle aus. Alle aus. Awaiting Input. Guck mal, der eine hier, Der spuckt wieder was anderes aus. Beziehungsweise war das vorhin der einzige, der überhaupt an war. Input received. Oh, was ist da lila jetzt? Junge, ich glaube, hier geht so viel in diesem Spiel. Oder das ist einfach nur alles verunsichern. Na, ich gehe mal weiter. Die Uhr hier tickt rückwärts. Immer noch. Und ich habe noch keine andere Uhr entdeckt, auch nicht die 4, die vorhin nebeneinander waren. Wo der Sekundenzeiger rückwärts tickt. Weiß nicht, ob das gewollt ist. Oder ob das einfach ein Fehler vom Spiel ist. Die linke Tür. Nein. Oder? Was habe ich da noch in der linken Tür? Warte mal, ich komme zum Konferenzraum. Dann gehe ich weiter an dem Hausmeisterraum vorbei. Dann kann ich entweder runtergehen oder hochgehen. Ich gehe hoch zum Boss, denn durch die Geheimtür? Nee, dann komme ich wieder zu dem großen Rätsel.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Okay, hier ist ziemliche Verwüstung. Die Uhr tickt normal. Es ist 11:25 Uhr. Geht doch irgendeine Tür auf, oder was? Hier ist es auch 11:25 Uhr und sie tickt richtig. 4B9. Auch so ein Meeting Room hier. Kommt man hier hoch? Okay.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Ja, komm, gib mir was zu trinken.
Yes, really worth it being here in the room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Ja, natürlich die einzig offen. Nee, da hinten ist ja auch noch auf. Nee, die habe ich doch schon mal gewählt hier, ne, am Anfang. Das bringt einen so durcheinander. Ich gehe mal hier rein.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Ja, du willst mich nur falsch locken, du Typ, du. Okay. Wir sind heute hier der technische Zeichner. Und regeln den Laden jetzt hier mal. Wo bin ich? A2. Springen kann man nicht. Aha, Keycard. Oh, das ist ja mal ein Lager. Hochregallager. Liebe ich gar nicht.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Nein,
I'm not your
nicht.
enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Lass mich hier runter, schnell.
This is it, Stanley.
Was ist das für ein
Your
Aufzug?
chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Ah, ihr könnt direkt rüberlaufen. Das ist, bringt uns auch nicht weiter, wenn wir da durchkämen. Mann, ich will immer zu Kisten gehen und looten. Ah, okay, die kann ich immer wieder öffnen, oder? Ne, jetzt ist sie dicht. Nee, doch nicht, okay. Das heißt, ich bekäme die Möglichkeit zurückzugehen hier. Okay. Und tschüss. Was?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Oder?
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone?
Yep.
No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Was?
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person.
Die machen
But if
mich fertig,
used
ey.
incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
Übung.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Wieso zwingt er mich denn zu meinem Glück in Anführungszeichen? Guck mal, völlig woanders jetzt. Please. I am begging, stop. More charts. Auch nichts mehr machen, ne? Danger everywhere. Digga. Ja, und zu. Ja. Hier geht nichts mehr. Er zwingt mich hier lang. Hä, jetzt. Ach so, im Grunde gehen wir jetzt zurück, ne?
that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Das stimmt, aber das Gitterwaffe nicht da. War es einfach nur die Plattform. Jetzt, wo wir wissen, dass du von der Plattform springen könntest. Oh. Meshes of Cargo Lift. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift 5000. What? Oh, da unten geht's raus. Da muss ich hin. Das ist Dock A, das ist Dock B. Dock B, okay, kann man sich mal merken. Aber ich denke nicht, dass ich da hinkommen werde. Hallo, wieso kann ich da jetzt nicht springen? Hätte ich Phone machen sollen, oder was? Dann gäbe es $5.000. Dollar Bill, ja. From the cargo lift while it is in motion. Ja, okay. Hier kommen wir immer noch nicht rein, oder? Nein. Ja. Lüge nicht. If you are lying right now, stop. Wenn du jetzt lügst, stopp. Hör auf damit. Vorhin hätte ich hier reingekonnt, ne? Ne, hier, die Tür war offen. Jetzt ist die Tür zu. Führt er mich jetzt zurück bis zu dem Punkt, wo ich hätte links gehen sollen, können, hätten, müssen?
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Aber nee. Möchte ich gar nicht. Denn, da komme ich da zur großen Mind Factory und wenn ich nicht off drücke, sondern on drücke, dann muss ich das Rätsel lösen.
Now
Und ich
remember,
glaube...
all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Entschuldigung. Ging ja durch die linke Tür. Was, wenn ich das jetzt nochmal mache? Ohne Scheiß. Ich möchte nicht...
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Hä? Guck mal hier. Sein Bild verzerrt sich. Ich glaube, dass wir somit das ganze Spiel oder sein Vorhaben durcheinander zu bringen. Weil wenn wir jetzt links reingehen, das ist wie so eine Art Loop. Man muss sich mal vorstellen, wir haben das vielleicht schon tausende Male gemacht, dass wir immer wieder hier durchgegangen sind. Und er sagt uns immer wieder, wo wir lang gehen sollen. Ich möchte hier nicht lang gehen. Okay, ich werde hier nicht weiterkommen. Mist. Okay, es nützt nichts. Mal gucken, aber vielleicht hat sich dadurch jetzt hier irgendwas verändert. Und auch vielleicht in der Mind Factory, es könnte ja sein. Die scheint, na, ja doch, die läuft in Echtzeit, ne? Nee, obwohl, wenn das vorhin schon... Oh.
It's ruined. I can't believe after
Ja,
everything
sehr
we
gut.
talked about that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that?
Schnauze.
What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to.
Nein, du musst gar
I
nichts.
have to.
Nein. Was jetzt? Es bringt mich so durcheinander. Aber was möchte er von mir? Also was möchte er wirklich?
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. with you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story.
Bin ich doch.
If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard.
Und?
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Hier ist das, ne? Links. Okay.
No!
Doch.
Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry. Behave exactly as Stanley would.
Das kann nicht sein.
That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ich glaube, dass das Spiel sich nicht einfach zurücksetzt wie so ein Tod in einem anderen Spiel. Und dann fängt man hier wieder an. Also er lädt hier. Sondern ich glaube, es gibt die Möglichkeit, hier wieder durchzulaufen. Vielleicht muss ich es nur oft genug mal... Komm, ich mach's noch einmal. Wer hat dich denn gegossen?
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry.
Okay. Okay. Gehen wir durch die linke.
Exactly as Stanley would.
Ohne in die rechte zu gehen.
Responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. Dann machen wir sein Universum mal nicht kaputt hier. Da ist der heile Konferenzraum.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Guck mal, die geht auch nicht mehr auf. Die ging immer auf. Jetzt ist die blöde Tür abgeschlossen. Warum?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Wenn ich runtergehe... Ach, wenn ich runtergehe, komme ich da wieder nicht weiter, ne? Okay. Doch, das war... Hey, das ist ein ganz anderer Raum.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode.
Macht
He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Nightshark 115. Hallo? Nightshark 115. Cobra
Stanley
11?
spoke the code. Nightshark 115. He
Ja.
spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Ja, es gibt doch nur den einen, oder nicht? Hey.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver.
Sie
Otherwise
verarschen
we
mich, oder?
can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Ich kann nur mit E interagieren. Ey, das macht er doch extra.
Okay, fine, you're not gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way?
Ich wollte in die rechte Tür
Say
gehen.
something to me. Explain yourself, you coward.
Sag mal, ich wollte doch durch die rechte
Stanley came to
Tür
a set
gehen.
of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
Dein Ernst jetzt, Alter? Was geht hier ab?
Stanley? Hello? Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me?
Okay.
Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something.
Kann man doch einfach gar nichts machen,
This is
oder
more
was?
important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do.
Aber was mache ich hier oben?
Take as much time as you need.
Stanley? The fuck? Okay, gehen wir... Okay, hier will mich jemand gewaltig veräppeln,
All
ey.
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Hier ist jetzt alles komplett anders. Ich bin ganz woanders. Warte mal, hier ist jetzt dieser Seitengang, den ich mal durchs andere Fenster gesehen habe, wo es zu den B-Räumen geht, glaube ich, so kann man es nennen. Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of
Sind wir
2
schon da?
open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ah, hier oben stand ich. Dies aus, dies aus, dies aus, dies aus. Bin ich darüber gelaufen vielleicht? Oh, ich bleibe mal einfach einen Moment stehen. Wie es mir eben dargestellt wurde. Ich bleibe einfach mal einen Moment stehen und nutze das Ganze aus und bin in einer Minute wieder da. So, da ist er wieder. Und passiert ist noch gar nichts, ne? Ich habe es gesehen, er hat auch noch nichts gesagt. Aktenschrank war da, die Stühle. Da ist Chuck, wie der gute Schauerland jetzt sagen würde. Okay. Soll ich nochmal die rechte wählen?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
11:25. 4B9.
Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Ich will mal was probieren.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. But in his eagerness to prove that he's in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Ich krieg meine $5.000 jetzt nicht. Hallo? Liegt das Geld jetzt hier rum? Nein? Okay, ich hab's mir gedacht. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Aber jetzt,
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Jetzt ist das hier aber wieder normal, ne? Habe ich es jetzt irgendwie nochmal zurückgesetzt? Aber wie?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So, ich bin jetzt mal gespannt, wie das oben beim Boss aussieht.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his... Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Guck mal, vorhin hat er gesagt, Stanley kam in den weiß nicht, Hausmeisterraum oder wie auch immer, stellte aber fest, dass es hier nicht weitergeht und ging raus und weiter zum Boss. Jetzt sagt er wieder was völlig anderes. Nicht nochmal, hat er gesagt.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Bin ich gespannt. Jetzt haben wir wieder die Halle hier. Warte mal. Jetzt ist da hinten ein gelbes Dings dran. Executive Bathroom. Vorhin haben wir da kein Zeichen dran gehabt. Ich muss wieder zu dem Punkt, an dem ich vorhin war, als man hier Shark, du hast Old Shark oder so sagen musste.
Manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin number, 2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Ich glaube, ich habe aber gleich noch einen Lift, den ich nehmen könnte. Wenn ich nicht geradeaus gehe. Ich glaube, es müsste noch ein Aufzug kommen, wo ich abweichen kann.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Durchgebrannt? Ja, ist durchgebrannt. Komme ich nicht mehr hoch.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Nein, da brauchen wir nicht nochmal durch. Nee, hier kommt der Aufzug nicht, denn war das doch woanders. Mann, wo war denn das? Ich bin der Meinung, ich musste durch die rechte Tür gehen. Da kam irgendwann noch so ein Aufzug auf der linken Seite.
Packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Okay, komm. Weiter geht's. Hatten wir schon. Diese Geräusche, ne? Das ist so typisch Half-Life.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Da sind wir, ne? Nee. 427 sind wir. Da, 427.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once
Wenn ich sie ausschalte, das habe ich schon mal gemacht. Ich muss sie einschalten und dann will ich hier irgendwas tun. Was hatten wir da oben? Da oben war die 5, ne? Ja. Da haben wir 1, 2, ne, oder die 4. Da war die 4, glaube ich. Und da drüben war die 5. Genau. Hier oben ist die 4. Die 3 fehlt. Und das zeigt er mir an. Wenn ich jetzt da reingehe, da hinten, und die Maschine einschalte, anstatt auszuschalten. Warte mal, vielleicht kann ich dann hier was mitmachen. Oder wenn ich schnell genug bin, hier in die Tür, die aufgeht. Okay, wir müssen mal gucken. Ich mache das nochmal jetzt. Weil irgendwas muss ja gehen. Aber es ist so viel. Wedding Input. Kriegst du. Geil, ne? Das ist mal ein Fernseher.
And when at last he found the source... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Ich glaube, die Tür geht auf hier gleich.
Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you.
Incorrect.
About me,
Was? 2?
where we're going.
2 habe ich.
What all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that?
2 lilane meint er wahrscheinlich.
A moment of solace before you're obliterated.
Ein lilane.
All right, I'm in a good mood. You're
Ein
gonna die
lilane.
anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them.
Lila,
I
lila, lila.
erased them.
Hallo.
I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story.
Es gibt kein lila.
Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then
Lila,
dying
hier.
alone. Other
Einmal.
times, I let the office
hier.
sink into the ground,
Zweimal
swallowing
lila. Hab ich.
everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to
Lila.
say this, though.
Lila.
This version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich.
Ja,
I almost hate to see it go.
Er macht's
But
doch
I'm sure
extra.
whatever I come up with on the next go around will
Oder der
be
große
even
rote
better.
jetzt.
My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds.
Extra time.
Time doesn't
Sauber.
grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley?
Alter.
Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button.
Oder
Or
diese
this
Tür.
door.
Ja, es ist...
Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a
Irgendwas geht hier.
disappointment.
Oh, warte
But
mal.
here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your
Ist
death.
ausgemacht hier?
You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every
Intelligence
moment
and
that you're
power switch.
powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's
Passiert
fine.
nichts.
But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
427. Ist das vielleicht mein Code?
Take a look at the clock, Stanley.
Kann ich irgendwie
That's
irgendeinen Code
30
eingeben?
seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing.
Moin.
No ending here, just you
Hier,
being
ne?
blown to pieces. Will you cling
Warum?
desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't.
Oh,
It's all the
ich
same
weiß
to
es
me,
nicht.
all a part of the joke. And believe me, I
Hier
will
geht
be
gar
laughing
nichts.
at every second of your inevitable life from
Muss
the
ich hier
moment
sein?
we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Oh Mann. Stress pur. Huch. Es kann nicht wahr sein. Jetzt ist aber wieder...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Okay, ich laufe
Stanley
noch einmal
decided to
durch.
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he
In
had
dem
simply missed
Zustand
a
jetzt
memo.
hier. Jetzt sind wir
When
direkt
Stanley
hier.
came to a set of two open doors,
Jetzt
he
muss ich
entered
zum
the door
Boss.
on his left.
Weil jetzt müsste das Büro beim Boss wieder anders sein.
Yet there was not a single
Hier
person
mit
here
dem Code hier,
either.
Cobra 11.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Das ist doch jedes Mal was anderes hier. Macht er extra.
Coming to a
da
staircase,
reingehe.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
So, da, jetzt ist wieder gelb. Gelbe Schrift, der gelbe Schriftzug. Oh. Oh. Nee, hä? Jetzt ist das trotzdem so? Beim alten, hinten mit dem Keypad. Und die Tür ist aber offen. Dann gehen wir natürlich hier rein. Stuhl. Kann ich auch runter? Okay. Auf geht's. Ins Ungewisse. Hoch, runter. Okay. Wir hören einfach Musik. Hier redet doch einer. Okay. Wir sind wieder hier. Was? Oh. Da habe ich jetzt gar nicht mit gerechnet. Wie geht die Tür auf? Okay. To be rich, it's a crime. To commit crimes, isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Extreme bathrooms. Und die Times liegt hier rum. Super Werbung. Ich weiß nicht. Soll ich hier... Ich gehe nochmal... was war da hinten Neues? Nee. Ich gehe nochmal in den Aufzug und versuche mal nach unten zu klicken. Alter, was ist denn das für ein Bild? Business-Strategie. Klick mal auf unten. Und jetzt auch auf unten. Bitte, sobald ich jetzt... Ja, man muss nochmal klicken. Der fährt sich sonst tot. Okay. Schreckliches Foto. I'm the most expensive boss. Ja, ist klar.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began while Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Ja, weil ich den Code
That kind of
kenne.
anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Oh. Ja, der will jetzt aber auch einen Bourbon haben hier. Chianti. Stimmt.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Das kann doch nicht sein, dass sie so viele Möglichkeiten hier eingebaut haben.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind
Das
Control
brauche ich nicht nochmal machen,
Facility.
da kommt man nicht weiter. Mit den Knöpfen. Oder ich muss aufgeben und muss mich mal schlau machen bei Google. Ich glaube, ich will hier nochmal rein, weil man stirbt ja auch nicht richtig.
Although this passageway had the
Ich glaube, man
word
hatte noch eine
escape written
Möglichkeit,
on it,
oder?
the truth was
Also die
that at
Wahl.
the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Hatte man nicht noch eine
The
Wahl, wenn
door
man da
behind him
runtergefallen
was not
ist?
shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Nein.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Ich glaube, hier gab es noch irgendwas. Genau, wir landen hier. Ah, das war die Presse, aber zerpresst uns ja nicht.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Aber das muss so ein ekliger Tod sein, glaube ich. Glaube ich? Nee. Also, ich glaube, man spürt diesen ersten Schmerz ja noch, ne? Denke
And
ich
yet
mal.
it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Ja, was dachte er sich dabei? Kann ich hier irgendwo anders hin? Nee, zurück kann ich auch nicht mehr.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Das ist länger als letztes Mal. Hier sind wir losgegangen, die Halle. Das ist aber nicht richtig. Diesmal war es bei uns verändert. Dementsprechend ist das nicht aktuell, okay. This opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reach the 2 doors in a good time. So, hier hast du die Wahl, links oder rechts. Credits. Sind das vielleicht die 3 Möglichkeiten? Boss's Office. Screen from the development. Ach so, okay, von der Entwicklung oder was? Okay, nee, das ist das Fertiggestellte, ne? So ging's los. Okay. Office Clock, ja, genau. Das wird auch nicht später, ne? Was? Das ist das wirklich nur so Entwicklung? Von der Entwicklung, die Bilder? Ja, was? Okay.
Perfect example of poor level design. Textbook mistake. It's the kind of thing you pick up on intuitive.
Kevin Brighting, the voice of narrator. Okay. Kevin Brighting ist das also.
But of course, you being you, you'll probably spend the next hour trying to solve it. Here, I'm just gonna make this easy on you.
Aber geht hier noch irgendwas? In diesem Spiel geht ja eigentlich immer irgendwas. Und daher kann ich mir gut vorstellen, dass es hier auch irgendwie irgendetwas gibt. Ein Trick oder... Freedom Ending, das hatten wir schon. Ja, witzig. Die Farben, ja, was soll man da drücken? Er erzählt ja auch die ganze Zeit, es ist egal, was du drückst. Du versuchst gerade bestimmt durch Türen zu gehen und die richtigen Farben zu drücken. 78, ich kann hier nichts drücken. Ich kann drücken, aber dann passiert trotzdem nichts. Zeigt er mir da eine Zahl an? 32, Countdown Desk. Ach so, das ist einer von den Schreibtischen von der früheren Version von dem Countdown-Ending. Okay. Geht's hier noch hin? Game Design Mockup. Stanley's Office. 427, 427. Ach so, das sind die verschiedenen. So ging's los, ja? Okay. Warte mal. Ist Uhren? Keine Uhren. Das ist auf jeden Fall das Endprodukt. Die Lampe steht da. Die Lampe steht da. Da steht keine, gut, aber das haben wir so auch noch nicht gesehen. Countdown Room. Das hatte ich auch letztes Mal. Hört ihr das Ticken? Tickt doch irgendwas. Ich blöde. Ach so, ja. Begin the game again. Resume the game. Options. Ach so, okay, so war es mal. Wo ging's denn ins Schwarze hier? Wo war denn das? Nee. Oh Gott, ich kann sich aber auch verlaufen, ey. Ich hab's doch vorhin erst gesehen. Nee, wenn, dann muss ich hier wieder durch. Hoch, glaube ich. Nee. Hä? Wieso bin ich denn jetzt wieder hier? Hallo. Das Museum, in dem man sich verlaufen kann. Warte mal. Okay.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another.
Gegenseitig.
How they
Warum?
both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these
Immer
two.
noch retten.
You
Du
can
kannst
stop the
stoppen.
program before they both fail.
Beide
Push
scheitern.
escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game.
Das habe ich letztes Mal gemacht, glaube ich, ne? Neu starten.
Or
Nee,
would
habe ich
you be
nicht
walking
gemacht.
someone else's path? Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever.
Habe ich nicht gemacht. Ich mach's jetzt mal. Du kannst die beiden noch retten, hat sie damit gesagt.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be.
Wieder
Stanley
damit.
just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be
sagt schon
alone
wieder etwas
ever
anderes.
again.
Okay, das war's für heute hier. Ich weiß nicht, ob ich jetzt schon durch bin oder ob es noch eine andere Möglichkeit gibt. Ich würde mich diesbezüglich auf Kommentare freuen, glaube ich. Ich weiß nicht mehr wirklich weiter. Es gab noch irgendwo einen Lift, den habe ich mal gesehen. Oder vielleicht gibt es ja auch noch andere Möglichkeiten oder andere Ideen. Rein damit in die Kommentare bitte und ich bedanke mich fürs Zuschauen und bis zum nächsten Mal.